Thank you, Sean. And good luck there to Ellie, who's gone about her business. She wants to be a princess when she grows up. Oh, bless her. And she'll enjoy the experience at Disneyland in Paris. David Kiely, you're welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Rowan. I'm very well.
It's a lovely story just out of the blue. You're in production with a play which is based on the writing of your dear wife.
Yes, it's based on her book, The Misremembered Man.
Wow. And she's a Derry girl.
Yes, Draperstown.
You were from
Dublin.
Dublin. The two of you met and love flowered, and
Yes.
artistic creativity seems to have flowered as well.
Now, we actually met in Kiely, in Annaverna. I gave creative writing lessons.
Wow.
And she came all the way from Warren Point, where she lived, and we met. And I'm back in Annaverna again.
Annaverna is up
in the air.
Indeed. Annaverna in Ravensdale between Newry and Dundalk. It's a beautiful, beautiful estate there. Very, very old. Vere Lennox Cunningham is the person who has it there. But there is a theatre space within it. That's still there.
There is, yes.
And that's where you're doing the play.
Yes, that's it. Well, we're rehearsing it there.
Yeah.
We'll probably do the pre-production or something there. But
Yeah.
at the moment, it's going very well.
Okay, what's the theme, David?
Now the theme. It's a comedy, but it has dark undertones, shall we say. It's about a man named Jamie McClune. He went to an orphanage, the orphanage from hell. He was placed there until he was 10 years of age, and then he was adopted by a local farmer who took him out of all of that and gave him a great life. But the farmer died. His wife died before him a couple of years before the play opens. So that's Jamie, and he's very lonely. And the neighbors say, Jamie, what you need is a wife.
Wow.
And there are people putting ads in the paper for lonely people, lonely hearts, etc.
As they do.
Yes. So he applies to one of these ads, and it's by a lady by the name of Lydia Devine. She's a school teacher, and she's very prim and proper. Now she's a rector's daughter. So they're absolute contrast, because she's very upstanding.
Yes.
And he is, of course, a man outstanding in his own field, or what we call a farmer. So they meet, and it was murder. Well, not quite murder, but it's very funny.
And has your wife allowed you freedom with the interpretation of the work, the screenplay and things like that?
Well, she wrote the screenplay.
Oh, she did that as well. Yeah,
she
so she's content.
She's very
then.
clever, I'm telling you. Very talented.
Well, she learned well at Annaverna all those years ago. Take a bow, sir. So, how many people do you need to populate the stage? You're casting at the moment.
Now, the core players, you're talking about 7-8 people, which we have already. But we're still looking for a couple more to augment the number.
Yeah. And have you been involved in this kind of thing before?
Oh, yes.
What's your history?
I spent a lot of time in Holland, in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Somebody had to. And I started a drama group for expats, mostly Irish people, and I did a couple of plays there. I directed a couple of plays.
I think this is a great story.
A long time ago.
It's a lovely story.
It's in the blood, because my father was very much into amateur dramatics.
Yeah. And the business of, how long are you with your lady now? When she came
17
over?
years.
So that's, you 17 years ago, she came as a bright-eyed girl over to Annaverna to learn the skills of creative writing.
Yes.
Do you recall the moment when eyes locked across the crowded room and there was a kind of little tingling of love in the air?
Yes, I did. I do indeed. She was wearing dark glasses, though. Big glasses, but they were a little dark.
Yeah.
I thought, I like the look of that.
Yeah.
And she was very bright, and she was actually the best, of course, in my group.
Yeah.
So I knew eventually that talent would out, and it did.
What was she doing before? And I do hope she'll come when the sequel of the book comes out and talk to me. Very much want her to do that.
Oh, good.
But what was she working at before starting the scribbling?
She was teaching.
Teaching.
Yeah, she began teaching English to foreigners, TEFL, as they call it. And she went to Turkey. She went to Milano.
Yeah.
She went. She was in Mexico. We were both in Mexico and Ecuador, of all places.
And what were the circumstances that took you on a transportation to Ecuador and?
Well, we were both working on books, because I'm a writer too. I've published about 10, but she was working on. It wasn't quite her her novels, she was working on a memoir in Mexico. This would have been 2003.
And a memoir, was it it was a memoir of a famous person of that part of the world, or
No,
what was
of
it?
herself.
Of herself?
Yes, growing up in County Derry.
And
Very good.
she went to this romantic place at the other end of the earth to do it.
Yes,
Supposed to clear her head,
we
I
were living
suppose.
in a wonderful place. Probably nobody on this side of the Atlantic has heard of it. San Miguel de Allende.
San Miguel de Allende.
It's beautiful. It's right in the middle, and you get a lot of expats, principally, of course, Americans coming down there,
Yeah.
you know, for the retirement, and
Yeah.
and it's lovely. Same weather all year round. It's
Mm.
every Irish person's dream. Lovely.
Why did you walk away from the dream? It seems to me you're in nirvana, for goodness sake.
Well, you get a bit of well, you know, you long for the old sod, and you long for the people you knew and you grew up with, etc. It's not the same.
Yeah. And your writing, is it fictional or is it documentary style?
I write both non-fiction and fiction. I wrote a series. It's called Bloody Women, which is not a great title, but Christina came up with the title. It's about women who murder.
Oh,
So I had
yes.
3 of those books.
Yeah.
Had a couple of novels. I had a biography of J.M. Singh.
Yeah.
A couple of things.
Yeah, you see, it seems you've touched on it there, because with I'm a reporter, have been all my life. That's all I can do. I cannot even begin to write fiction, because I have this psychological disability of a voice going in my head and saying, "Rowan, there's nothing new under the sun. Someone has imagined all of this before in a different circumstance." How do you get over that as a creative?
It's absolute rubbish.
Really?
Of course you have. Everybody has something new to say. I mean, who told you that? Oh, you've been talking to the wrong people. No, seriously.
But it's maybe that I've been in the, well, I'm not going to say the erotic, but I've been in the genre of reportage,
Yes.
and I find it easy.
Yes.
2 flies going up a wall, it's not a problem. I can give you 150 lines, words on that, just in the blink of an eye, no problem at all. But to sit down and start to, actually in my books of Africa and India, which are coming to fruition, I had to take the decision, okay, they're factual, they're documentary, but a certain poetic license to weave stuff into it, to heighten
non-fiction.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the lorry that almost crashed off the road and into the ditch,
Yes.
did, and went on. There's a sequence develops from that. But it's vastly difficult for ordinary people. You must be extraordinary to get published nowadays.
Am I to take it that this is a memoir of your own time?
Oh yeah, it's my for the last 10 years I've been traveling in Africa, northwest Nigeria, and in India,
Right.
and doing things there. But really there in a role of service to the communities there, helping them build
Yes.
schools.
Yes.
And the one lone Irishman in the middle of them all, he's the kind of the Goban seer. He's the fellow that makes it all happen, but in partnership with the people. And the other dilemma, and you've come across it, I'm sure, before, is to know when it's finished.
Yes, a book is never finished.
Mm.
You can't stop editing a book because you'll always find.
That's right.
"Nah,
That's right.
That was great 6 months ago. But
Yeah, but
don't know about it now. The more people you show it to, the
yeah,
more they say, "Yeah," and you go, "Yeah."
yeah.
Yeah, George Moore, ever hear of him? He was an Irish writer in
Yeah.
the Victorian age. He used to publish books, and then 6 months later he'd withdraw them from publication and edit them and
Keep doing that.
doing this.
You see that even in my weekly newspaper column, you can write 600 words in 10 minutes. Of course you can.
Yes.
Or you can write it in a day, or you can write it in 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah.
I find I've evolved now, and I'm kind of dipping into your knowledge bank. I've evolved now to a point of opening the computer on the Sunday evening, and then going away, coming back late that night, then maybe the next morning do a wee bit more, and the whole thing is growing and evolving. What's your experience of that kind of thing?
You touched on something there. I find the subconscious mind is brilliant as regards that sort of thing, because you do something late at night, you go to bed, and It's going on in your head.
Yeah.
The ghost in the machine. And the next morning you wake up and you think, that's an interesting angle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you forget stuff.
You do, of course you do.
What did I dream about?
What did I dream of? Why did I write it down? I'm too tired to get up and write it down, but all of that kind of thing. So where do people contact you, David, if they need to?
Do I have to spell it out?
Anna Verna. But is there a...
No, sorry, I was going to spell it Ashdor.
Oh, Ashdor.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Ashdor.
A-I-S-T-E-O-I-R. And we're on Facebook.
A-I-S. Go again.
T-E-O-I-R.
I-R. Ashdor. And if they go into Ashdor on Facebook,
there we are.
they find you.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. And we'll be able to see the play where and when, do you think?
Well, I'm hoping to put it on in 2 places. Mm-hmm. The Toyne in Dundalk.
Yeah.
And the Sean Hollywood Centre here in
Yeah.
Newry.
So that's a nice performance space too.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know whether we'll do it first in Newry or do it first
Yeah.
in Dundalk. It depends on how it goes. You see, what I'm aiming for is a sort of cross-border initiative.
Of course, yeah.
Beginning to sound like a politician. Should I retract that? Are we live, Sean? No. No. I'd love to get people from the south and from the north.
Yeah.
It's set in Northern Ireland anyway. I got quite a number of people from Dundalk, and I would love to get people from this area.
Yeah.
Because the accents will be Northern Irish accents.
It's a lovely concept, and I'm with you on it. But isn't it, I was musing earlier that this is a bank holiday in Northern Ireland.
Yes.
It's not in the Republic.
No.
Their bank holiday down there at the beginning of August.
Yes.
Ours is at the end.
Well, we're
never,
contrary, yes.
Never the twain shall meet.
Oh, no.
And
Kidding.
if there's some, I know that the sign language for people with hearing disability in the south is different to the one in the north.
I didn't know that.
It's true. It's true.
How different?
It's true.
Radically different.
I think it may well be radically different, but I'm not. I don't know the fine tuning on it, but it just adds fuel to my furnace of roar that says, let's get our act together, guys. Let's do more plays in Anna Verna with people coming from the south and people coming from the north and building things, for goodness
sake.
sake.
It's only a stone's throw away from where we're sitting, you know.
Yeah.
You're there in 10 minutes.
But I would say if you were to do a survey in Newry at the moment, where is Anna Verna in Ravensdale? Do you know what it is? Very, very few people would know. There is that sort of blockage.
I guess. The equestrian centre, they'd know about that, wouldn't
they? Might, yeah, they might. They might.
Next stop.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Ashdor is the way they find you.
That's very well pronounced.
A-I-S-T-E-O-I-R, and you're on Facebook, and it's David Kiely. We'll play you some music now and let you go on your way. Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
Pleasure.
That is wonderful. Sean.